Shalom, it's Tila from the Kefar, and in this video, I'm going to explain when we pronounce the Vav HaChibur, so that ve that means and, when we pronounce it as ve as opposed to when we pronounce it as u. Okay, so there are two scenarios or two circumstances under which we will pronounce the Vav, the and, as u. So it takes a shuruk vowel and we pronounce it as u to mean and, as opposed to ve or va or vi. Okay, and so before we get into that, just a reminder to like this video, share, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And if you do want to learn Hebrew online beyond these videos, go to thekefar.com/Hebrew and you can sign up for private lessons. You can learn with friends or family, and you can also join a group class if one is available. So again, the link is thekefar.com/Hebrew, and that is in the description for you. So, like we said, the Vav, it's called the Vav HaChibur, okay? And so it's generally pronounced as ve or va or vi, okay, as the V sound with an additional vowel. However, based on certain circumstances of whatever word it is that follows the ve, we'll pronounce it as u instead. So it takes on the shuruk vowel. So it's the Vav with the dot in the middle, and that makes it u. And so one of those circumstances or scenarios is if the word that follows the Vav HaChibur has a shava under the first letter, we're going to pronounce that and as u. So for instance, take the word gvina, okay? Gvina, which means cheese. Under that gimel, that vowel is the shava, okay? That's what gives us the g in gvina. So because that first letter has a shava, we're going to pronounce the and. So if I say and a cheese for whatever reason, that and is going to be pronounced as u as opposed to ve. So instead of saying vegvina, okay, to mean and cheese, we're going to say ugvina, okay? Another example is shtaim, which is the number 2, okay? Under that initial letter, the shin, we have a shava. So instead of saying veshtaim, we're going to pronounce that as ushtaim, okay? It just flows a little bit better. So that's one rule, that if the first letter of the word that follows the Vav HaChibur, that and Vav, has a shava underneath it, then we're pronouncing the Vav as u. Okay, so that first rule is specific to the vowel that's underneath any letter. The second rule is specific to letters. So there's something called otiot bumaf, okay? And otiot are just letters. And bumaf is just an acronym for bet, vav, mem, and pei. Okay, so otiot bumaf refer to those 4 letters, okay? The bet, that's the b, the vav, that's the u, mem, that's the ma, and the pei, which is the pei or fei, which is the bumaf, okay? So if whatever follows the Vav HaChibur starts with bet, vav, mem, or pei, even if it doesn't have that initial shava, you're going to pronounce the Vav HaChibur as u. And not only are you pronouncing it as u, but if the letter takes a dagesh, for instance, bet with the dagesh is b, without it, it's v, and pei with the dagesh is p, and without it, it's f. So if the letter has a dagesh, you're going to drop the dagesh out of the word. So for instance, bait, okay? Bait is house, and it starts with bet, and that's one of our bumaf letters, okay? Bet, vav, mem, pei. So we are going to pronounce our Vav HaChibur as u because it's one of our bumaf letters. And we're also going to drop the dagesh. So instead of it being ubait, it's uvait. So and a house would be uvait. So for example, vanil. Vanil means vanilla. It starts with vav, which is one of our 4 bumaf letters. And so instead of saying vevanil, we're going to say uvanil. Okay, and vanilla, uvanil. Okay, and so I do want to point out, you will just hear ve a lot. You will hear ve and plus the otiot bumaf without the dagesh being dropped out. It's just sort of everyday speech. People don't necessarily pay attention to all of the different rules, just like when a lot of us speak English, we don't necessarily speak grammatically correct English 100% of the time. Just know that these are the rules for when you are supposed to pronounce the Vav with the V sound, or the Vav HaChibur with the V sound, as opposed to with the U sound that the shuruk vowel provides. Okay, so that is all for today. Zeu, toda ala tzfiya. Thank you for watching. Again, like this video, share it, subscribe to my channel. And if you want to support the creation of videos like these, consider becoming a patron. You can sign up at patreon.com/thekefar. You also get access to bonus videos and other perks that are exclusive to members of the Patreon community. And you also make Hebrew language more accessible to everybody online who wants to learn Hebrew but doesn't necessarily have the means to be able to do so. But if you do have the means and you do want to learn Hebrew online, again, go to thekefar.com/Hebrew and you can sign up for private lessons or join a group class. Okay? Azeu, and I'll see you in the next video. Lehitraot.